Conversation is the lifeblood of relationships. It doesn't matter what business you're in, conversing is about connecting. Hi there, team. Wonderful to have this opportunity to have a quick discussion with you about the importance of conversation. I know from my work, and indeed from those of you who've worked with me and had sessions with me over the years, is that conversation is like the oxygen that actually lubricates relationships. And it's particularly important in building the culture of any organization. And I guess the culture of organizations has changed in the last 12 to 18 months, or the advent of COVID, and the reliance on technology. Because what I know from my work for over 40 years in this discipline is that conversation often happens in not informal settings, but more in those informal, you walk down the corridor, you see someone, you go, oh, I need to tell you about so-and-so and such and such. Or you're by the water cooler or having a coffee, and you just get the conversation going. Now, the challenge with COVID has been we haven't been together in buildings where we can have those wonderful, informal sort of chats with each other. So I guess the challenge as we move forward is, how do we still keep conversing? Because conversation is the lifeblood of relationships. I know in my work with you over the years that there's a few observations I've had. And there's two of them I want to share with you this morning, or today, wherever it might be. I'm not sure what your timing is. By the way, I'm sitting in a beautiful home in Pegasus in Christchurch, having had 5 months cruising on my yacht, so you can all drool about now. Blair was worried about whether or not I'd be doing this on the yacht. Well, I'm not. So here I am in my friend's beautiful study saying, there's two observations I'd like you all to take on board when it comes to conversing, right? The first observation is the power of listening. If you truly want to converse with another individual, you need to listen. And you need to stop the autobiographical stuff of, I've got this idea I need to get across, and say, hey, I actually need to listen to this person. Number one, I need to be attentive. Stop multitasking and actually be present in the moment. Number two, I need to be active. Saying, okay, I've heard this from you. Have I got that right? And number three, as far as listening is concerned, I need to be objective, because we are all creatures of judgment and bias. We bring that to every conversation that we have. So the secret to conversational success is be a great listener. Not about talking, it's about listening. The second observation I want to share with you as far as conversation is concerned is the power of the non-verbals. Now, we do need to use mediated technology like I'm doing with you today. Zoom, Teams, whatever. The challenge is we're missing a lot of the non-verbals. Between 72 and 93% of communication is non-verbal. So when we're using these mediated technologies, it's important that we see the face. We see as much of the body, hence I've placed the camera so you can see my hand gestures. You can see as much of my torso as you possibly can, because that tells you where I'm coming from. And I think those are the important things when you're using mediated technologies. Is like, how much can I see of that person so I can see as much of that body language as possible? So I know you're on a new journey. I'm really looking forward to seeing you all in person. Not possible right now for me, yet I know that you're in great hands with Blair and Jessie, and I know you're on a bit of a new journey as an organisation. So my stress to you is that It's all about conversation. Conversation is the oxygen that feeds the culture of any organisation. And to be great at conversing, you have to be a great listener, and you need to see as much of the body as you can to interpret that whole non-verbal aspect of communication. So, in summary, conversation is the lifeblood of relationships. It's the oxygen that feeds the culture of any organisation.